Hi there, Tony. I'm Vishy. Congratulations on your success with Night and Day, your 50 stores. So first of all, what did you study at university and how did you start your career off after graduation?
So I studied accounting, is what I started with and finished that, but also did political studies. So I did a BCom BA, and then to start my career what I did was, I'm from Dunedin, so I applied for a job with Deloitte and a few other accounting firms, but got the job with Deloitte. So I started as a graduate accountant back in 1999.
What do the disciplines of accountancy and finance look like on a day-to-day basis within the Night and Day franchises that you oversee?
So for us, we're a full-service franchise business. So as a franchisor, we pay all the accreditors for them. So there's 10,000 invoices that go through our offices every month. We do the payroll for them. So there's about 600 employees. And then we do management accounts every 4 months. So every 4 months we're doing full sets of management accounts. We then go round to the stores and visit them and explain what those accounts mean, where they can make improvements, what's going well, areas for improvement. So we're doing quite a lot of accounting and finance, and then we've got our own internal accounts. So we've got 4 businesses within Night and Day that we also do the accounts for and do our own management accounts and financial accounts for.
How did your tertiary education prepare you for the responsibilities that you now manage?
I think for me, university teaches you to learn how to learn. So I've been involved in a number of different industries. I'm in retail at the moment, but I've been in construction development. I've helped run a law firm. So I've done a variety of things, and I think university just teaches you how to learn. And it's part of the building blocks. You know, you do high school and you learn, like I did accounting at high school, you learn the fundamentals. And then you just add to that when you come to university, and then you add to it again as you go through the CA program. So I think it's just an incremental process. But I think fundamentally it's learn how to learn in an independent way.
How is the fast food retail sector different from other sectors, and why is this challenging from a CEO's perspective?
I think at the moment when you look at it, in terms of the convenience area we're in, the biggest challenge we've got is legislative changes. So the government are looking to ban tobacco in 2025, and that's a big part of what we sell. They're looking at things like sugar and fat tax, which will impact heavily on in terms of what we do. So that's a challenge for us. Not that we're not up for the challenge, it's about saying, well, what does a consumer want? So moving to more healthy products and moving to products that long-term are sustainable, given the changes in the environment that we've got with the legislation.
What impact has a regulatory requirement governing health and safety had on the business?
From our perspective, I think it's just brought it more to the forefront. So I think the changes in the legislation, whilst that put more onerous and probably made it a bit clearer, I think the obligation has always been there around health and safety. So I don't see that being a fundamental shift. I just see that with the media exposure, there's more engagement, particularly when I look at our franchisees. So I've made it really clear to them, but what that means to us and them. The only thing I'm not clear on, and it needs to be tested, I think, in a court, is as a franchisor, what's our responsibility if the franchisee or their customers or their staff have an issue with health and safety? Are we in the firing line? I'm unsure on that at this stage.
What factors are critical for success in the retail sector?
I think it's being tuned into the customer, understanding what the customer wants and where society's heading. Because if we just put our head in the sand and said, the fat tax and the sugar tax is going to go away, at the end of the day, I think society's changing. The consumer wants something different. So when we talk about we've got it when you want it, we've actually got to say, well, who are we catering to? And so we're adjusting to the customer. It's also trying to be innovative and keep up with the changes in things like social media, which Facebook we're straight onto, but that's changing now in terms of what medium's being used. So it's being up with the play with what's going on, particularly in our sector, because it's fast moving, and we're 18 to 35-year-olds is kind of our target market, so they're always moving around.
What should a current University of Otago student be doing to enhance their skill set for employment after graduation outside of their study requirements?
I think probably learning from what I did was I worked through university as well. So I had a job and I did university, and I tried to do work that would help in my career. So I did do sets of accounts for a family business, and when I also worked at Night and Day, so I've come full circle actually. I worked at Night and Day when I was at university. But I tried to focus on things like doing the bookwork in the background, although I did retail and did baking as well. But I think it's about making sure you're quite a complete person. So I played sport as well, I did a bit of work, and I did my studies. So I think that's what, when you come out of university, that's what employers are looking for.
What qualities do you look for in graduate recruits?
I think first and foremost it's attitude. So when I'm recruiting, it's always, are they coming with the right attitude? Can I see, does their CV tell me their attitude? Or does my CV tell me that, you know, they're kind of narrow focused, and if I'm going to employ them, are they going to be the same way? So I like to see a broad CV, I like to see good attitude.
How have you managed some of the more difficult decisions regarding the stores?
Difficult decisions, I'm probably kind of a head-on person, so if there's a problem, I just deal with it. But I think the way to deal with it is not aggressively, although I say head-on, I don't think you deal with it like that. I think you look from the other side and have empathy for all the parties involved and say, in terms of my decision, what ramification does that have? And based on that, how do I need to tailor it to the different people so that we don't lose here, that we have a win-win in whatever we do in terms of the decision. And you always got to look for that, the good side of the decision, even when it's a bad decision for some people involved.
And finally, what have been the highlights of your career?
Probably for me, I've always been quite deliberate in terms of what I want to do. So I think even at university, I had a pretty clear plan what I was going to do after university, and I had a clear plan after I become a CA what I was going to do. So I was quite deliberate, and I guess for me, my career's panned out the way I want it to be. And that's a highlight in itself, the fact that, you know, I've been able to control my destiny and get to where I want to be. In terms of actual key moments, probably in London, I was a finance director for a law firm, which had 750 lawyers. And that was at the age of 26, I learnt a lot really quickly. And then after that, I became I was Chief Operating Officer for a building, construction and development company. And I think with that I learned a lot and got a seat on the board. And now I've got now CEO at Night and Day, and I've got board positions. So I've sort of got government, local government and NZX listed board positions as a director. So for me, I'm not 40 yet. I may look a bit older, but I'm not 40 yet. So for me, that's been great in terms of I've deliberately gone through those. I've got some good positions. I've learnt a lot. I'm still learning a hell of a lot, and I'm enjoying what I do. So I think, and when I look at, you know, from a professional perspective, what am I good at? I think I'm good at looking at what's broken in business, getting systems and processes in place, getting plans in place, and then building the stepping stones to turn businesses around or make more money or make better decisions.
Thank you for your time today, and look forward to seeing you again.
No problem. Good to meet you.
Thanks.